bada boom, realest one in the goddamn room. How you doing? I am your host, Thabreakmaster, and this is Seasonal Talk, where we talk all things anime and not just anime. Sometimes we have other topics. You talk about gaming. It don't matter. Nothing's off limits in Seasonal Talk. For today's topic, we have here, switched it up on you, but we're talking about Michael B. Jordan's top 5 list. This man out here trying to have people struggle getting into anime. And we'll get more into that as we get into this whole thing with Seasonal Talk. So let us go ahead and hit that intro, baby. All right. So, first anime we're going to be talking about here today is Nier Automata, the show that is back and is out here giving us greatness. Greatness. It's all good. I have a topic already. I stay ready, so I don't have to be ready. That's how it is. Avatar, welcome in. No one should watch One Piece first. That's all I'm saying. We're going to get into that topic because when I saw what Michael B. Jordan was talking about, I was like, bro, you out here smoking crack. But I digress. We're over here right now. We're going to talk about Nier Automata. This episode was a heart-wrenching one. This episode really showcased the humanity, in a way, with these androids that we're seeing right now. So this one follows more or less Lily's story and how she has survived throughout all this turmoil when it comes to the resistance and the war that's going on right now. And we see actually another android that looks exactly like 2B. So that's part of the reason why she has like this type of like feeling towards her, and why she keeps staring at her in the first place. So with the whole backstory we got with her, we have this other resistance group that came by. You know, it's kind of similar how 2B and 9S kind of came through, but they're kind of stuck on there and they're trying to figure out what's going on. They didn't really get any backup from people from the higher ups. They're just like, what's happening? But they had to do the mission regardless anyways like that. So they needed some help. And so the resistance is there. We have a different leader at the time, not Lily, but you know, it's another ragtag group of people. Lily almost lost her mind at one point during all this. She got infected with this type of virus that makes you go mad, obviously. And then once you go mad, you got to go. But they were able to heal her. So with all that said, they started to bond together and everything like that throughout this like time while they're fighting with the resistance and everything, right? But ultimately, here and there, everybody dies besides Lily. Everybody dies, supposedly, anyways. Because at the end of this episode, the girl that looks like 2B, because 2B even says this, like, hey, maybe somebody still survived throughout that whole situation. Lo and behold, which is actually so interesting. So I've seen this character, like this character design so many times. I didn't know who this was. Now I understand. I got kind of hyped when I saw this because at the end you see like this little, you know, faraway image. It looks like 2B, but it's not 2B. It's that other one. So that other one's still alive, still around kicking. And I was like, yo, okay, interesting. I like what I'm seeing right now. I actually got really excited for that. Because again, I've seen this character multiple times. Like everybody, you know, when it comes to fan art, you always run into these things. So I was just like, all right. But now I know I have that backstory. I have connection with it now. So now I'm feeling it. This, again, is one of the best games to anime adaptations so far that I've seen. This has been really, really good. This episode easily is like an 8 out of 10. I enjoy this a lot. Yeah, the character at the end, though, exactly. I was just like, bro, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. Because, like, they're doing it. They're doing it. The little in-card, little half-part section at the end, like, you know, once the ending is done, they have this little stuff at the end of the episode usually. Adam and Eve are kind of just talking to each other. You just love some banter. Didn't see more of their character, obviously, because I'm pretty sure they're going to be big players later on as the show goes on, because they are a threat. They are a threat. But again, this is like an 8 out of 10. You know what? No, I'm going to give this an 8.5. I'm going to give this 8. It's almost a 9 for me. This was a really good episode. I really enjoyed this episode a lot. This is probably one of the best ones I think out of this week. But is this the one anime of the week? We're gonna find out. We're gonna find out. You guys could probably try to predict which anime of the which one anime of the week. You can kind of guess it, right? Try to guess. All right, just try to guess. That's definitely one of the biggest surprise of the season. 100%. I hated the fact that this show had to go on break. I understand the reason behind it, and you know, COVID and people getting sick and everything. So it sucks, but I'm glad it's back at least, and it's really showing what we can do here. Also, of course, animation's just been still on point the entire time. If anyone's having any issue with it at this point, I don't understand. This is something y'all should all be watching. Nier Automata is a legit anime. It's working really freaking well. I'm surprised by this. I'm actually surprised by this. But what would you rate this week for Nier Automata? Please tell me in the comment section below. Let us go ahead and move on to the next show, which is The Goats. The Goats. Rick and Sim. They came back again. Gave us another banger for us to listen to. Here, this was right here. The epitome of what anime is all about. 3 episodes into 1. And now we gotta wait until like, what, August or something now? Now we gotta wait. Like, I told you guys before, again, like, I don't like how they're kind of like breaking this all off. Like, come on, man, just finish this goddamn show. I'm ready to see it. I'm ready to see the end. Like, just stop stalling. Just give me what I want. I'm Bautista now. Give me what I want. Like, God dang it, man. We all know one anime that we don't try to lie. Avatar, we'll see. We'll see. Episode was mid. Move on. Now, see, now you just lying to me right now, because this was good. This was good. The 3 episodes that were in here, try to sum them up as fast as possible. You know, Aaron is kind of already seeing, because he's seen the future, so he knows this. So he saw these kids, and he's just pretty much apologizing, like, I'm sorry, because he knows what's about to happen, right? We know what's about to happen to them, because he sees what's about to happen to him. So he knows the evil that is coming because of him. So he's like, I apologize. I'm sorry about that. So he has that type of, like, you know, just regrets and pain that's there, but he knows he has to do what he has to do because he got to keep moving forward, right? So we see this kid later on in the episode get smushed. Like, that was, like, that whole scene with the Titans is actually kind of terrifying. I'm not gonna lie, that was pretty terrifying. They capture that really well when it comes to the terror of what the rumbling is all about. I felt that. I was like, God dang. And it's insane. It was kind of sad. So like I said, that was mostly what the first episode is, and also the whole thing when it comes to trying to obviously stop the rumbling. We have this like team of suckers, because, like, you know, there's these people. They thought they can go to this base where it has like airships basically, right? And unfortunately that didn't really work out, because the airships are actually going over there to try to attack the rumbling. So they got this team over there like, yeah, we're the last defense for taking out the rumbling. We're going to make this happen. They out here dropping freaking bombs on them. Did nothing. That was like, dang. So they're like, oh, well, I guess there ain't nothing we can do about that. It's just like, again, the terror that we saw with the rumbling is pretty terrifying, right? Herein lies actually my issue. Yeah, you probably didn't see that coming, did you? So we have all this build-up that's been going on with the rumbling, and how it's not like, it's unstoppable. Welcome in, Fortunate, by the way. Welcome in. That's the first thing you say? We're getting to that. We're getting to that. Speaking of Hanjin, actually, so my issue actually with this episode is actually Hanjin herself in a way, right? I felt what happened to her because she ultimately sacrificed herself to be able to have her people leave off the island and everything, and being able to go after Aaron. That's the whole point, right? So we see this happen because she's like, I'll be the one to stay back to try to hold off on the rumbling. I don't know if anyone else feels this way. I mean, again, I love Attack on Titan. Don't get me wrong, right? It's my favorite anime. But how is one person being able to take down so many colossal Titan enemies? I don't want to say with ease, but she's taking them down. Like, she's one person doing this. Like, really think about that for a second. He's like, these things just had bombs dropped on them, and it did nothing. But somehow she has enough strength, because it's not just with the Thunder Spirits. The Thunder Spirits made sense when it comes to killing them, right? That's a big explosion right on the nape of the neck. I get that, right? But, like, when she was just using straight up blades, she was still killing a few, and it's like, if you can do that, why can't we just have a platoon of suckers that have the maneuver gear to try to stop the, like, I don't know. I feel like they could have made something happen there. I understand that, obviously the heat and all that stuff is there as well, but it's just like, that was kind of odd. Like, if you were actually strategizing this, I think you can actually stop them. Like, you can trip them suckers up, make them step on each other, because they have like no brain, so they're out here just literally tripping and falling, stepping on their necks and dying based off of that too. So it's like, I don't know. It made me feel like the rumbling wasn't as devastating as it should have been, because like Hanjin shouldn't have been able to really do much of anything outside of the Thunder Spears. You know what I mean? That is my actual argument for that, because it didn't really make sense to me when I saw that with one person. By the way, one person. Yeah, most probably if they were to actually make that like jump happen, right, they would probably mostly ultimately end up dying, because if they're in that zone for too long, the heat is gonna kill them. That's why Hagen died there, and I felt that death. That death did actually have an impact on me, because when she like died, she got back up, and he's all, okay, she actually okay? Nah, we see Erwin over there, and I'm like, I was like, no, all them suckers are there. I felt that. I didn't cry, because like you see, I'm saying, oh, this episode gonna make you cry. I didn't cry, but I did feel it. That was a really powerful moment. Did a good job, though. It's actually kind of interesting how uncharacteristic that moment was for Attack on Titan 2. Again, I don't know if anyone's talking about this either. She actually kind of like had an actual hero's death. You know what I mean? She actually went out with style. Like, Attack on Titan usually doesn't do that. Like, if you think back on the show, a lot of the times these suckers die just a horrible death, and they don't really have a grandiose moment like that. You know what I mean? So it's actually kind of like out of character writing for Isayama to actually do something like that as well. Like I said, I actually have some issues with this episode. In the manga, she only took out like 2, so the anime was definitely trying to make her look cooler. Why they do? I hate when they do that. That's the same thing they did with in One Piece, right? When it was in in Fishman Island fighting against Horty Jones. Like, Luffy mopped the floor with Horty Jones. Like, Horty Jones did literally nothing the entire time. Like, Horty Jones actually is trash. The anime made him look like he was like much better than what he actually is. Because the manga, that's like a guy. He was an actual mop. The whole Straw Hat crew was wiping the deck with him, because like that's like it was trash. But in the anime, they made him look like he was actually doing something. And it's like, why is Luffy already struggling when he just got into the new world? It made no sense why the anime did that. In the anime, I see did this again. Then okay, I was wondering about that. I didn't read the manga up to this point, so I don't know what it looks like, right? So that is actually an issue because it messes with the context of the impact even of the rumbling when you have one person being able to just take out suckers like this. Like it's weird to me. It's weird to me. So that was the only thing that really kind of took me out. But outside of that, this was a solid episode. I did like towards the end. Great animation, mind you, by the way. Like, it looked incredible. When we have the 8 piping that was there, it was kind of like connected to Aaron and everything like that. And then we have freaking Reiner jump up in there, and they have that little like brawl grapple thing. That looked clean. That looked clean. Like, all of them kind of just dropping in and like, hey, Eden, it's time to go. Also, Aaron Yeager, this dude right here, they finally got to talk to him, right? Because Aaron's like, all right, y'all want to talk to me? We're going to go inside to the minefield thing, right? Basically, all he said is, hey, come at me, bro. Like, they ain't no way stopping me. You can't try to talk to me you not talk no jutsu me out of this. All right. This ain't a regular shonen. You are not Naruto Uzumaki. You do not have the skills to stop me from stopping this attack. Okay. So come at me, bro. No matter what, I'm doing what I'm doing. So you got to just kill me. All right. That's what it is. So now they got to have that resolve to try to stop this man in that way. But I highly doubt that's going to be the case here. Mikasa's going to go over there in some way and try to convince Aaron. Watch. I do see that. It's like, I have an idea what the ending might be. I do have an idea. I don't think it's a bad ending necessarily, but it depends on how they actually do it and how they execute it at this point. So I'm very curious how this whole thing ends here, and I want to see if I'm correct with what I'm thinking. Because again, I don't read the manga, so I don't know what the ending is. Please do not spoil it. I want to see what's about to happen here, because I think I know what it is, and I think if I think like the thought I have is actually correct, I see why people were upset about it. Is my thing. I get it, but doesn't necessarily mean it's bad. New ending song was great. Sim out here again with it. Yeah. Sim out here is just nothing but bangers. Nothing but bangers. He's one of my favorite freaking artists at this point. Nothing but bangers. They just stay clean with it. Like, bro, how they do this? Every time? Come on. Are we about to get another one, actually? Because, again, this is we have one more for Attack on Titan. The literal final season for real, right? In August. So is Sim going to come back one more time? One more again? To give us some more greatness? We're going to find out. Overall, though, I do give this like an 8.5 out of 10. 8.5 out of 10. It's solid. It's good stuff. I'm not going to give it a 9 because I do have a few issues with it, like I was saying. So I give it an 8.5 out of 10. Will this be the one to take over of Anime of the Week? We'll find out. We'll find out. Y'all probably didn't expect me to say all this, but I did. Yeah. I'm not biased like that. I see things. Okay? Well, let us go ahead and move on to the next anime, which is the other GOAT. The other GOAT, Blue Lock. Also, I forgot one thing I forgot to mention before I started this whole thing. Buddy Daddy is off the list right now because Buddy Daddy's this episode this week was a recap. So, like, I'm not about to review or talk about a recap episode. So that's why it's not there. That's why it's not there. Remember the old was Aaron's POV and this one is Mikasa's. They complement each other very well. See? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's that context, my guy. That's why I like what they're doing. They did the same thing kind of similar to the endings for last season too, right? There's that perspective between Mikasa and everything like that. Man, like I said, once the show's done, there's a few things I actually have to say when it comes to Attack on Titan before we like jump into Blue Lock. There's a few things I actually need to say about Attack on Titan because there's some stuff in it that honestly, Sam did drop the ball on. There's nothing they can do. There's nothing he can do to actually rectify it at this point. So I'm at this point. I'm like, this is a problem actually with the series, but I'll get more into that type of conversation later on once the show is actually completely done, or maybe I can make a video on that separately. We'll see. If y'all want to see that, I can make that video. 9 episodes in and already recap. What? Yeah, it don't make no sense. Like, why do we have what's the recap for? 8.5. I was like, what is this? Like, come on now. But Blue Lock though, no recap, just the greatness, no frills, all the analysis. Okay, this is great. It's another great episode. They just out here doing it again. Look, obviously it's the match that continues here, and we're seeing them just keep constantly evolving, like I keep talking about, right? Every time we have a new match, they all evolving right now. Isagi is actually facing off against Ren at this point when it comes to mind games, and he's not quite keeping up with them, unfortunately, because this man's still 2 steps ahead of this man when it comes to being able to survey the field. And then he also, at one point, was actually controlling literally everybody on the field. Ren was controlling everybody on the field. He put everybody in the palm of his hand and said, I play this soccer. This is my field. You cannot stop me. Though then Baro comes in because Baro's actually like the wild card because he's such a jerk and he don't really want to play with suckers like that. So you can't really predict on how he's actually going to work with his team. That's why he can actually be that wild card that can potentially make them win. So that's what Isagi is going to be banking on throughout this entirety of this match here. But very solid stuff right here. At the end, Bachira was actually thinking about something, man, everybody has this beast inside them. They're actually going so far. I'm finally getting to play the soccer I want to play, right? But at the same time, I'm actually getting, like, I'm still alone. They're pushing away from me. Am I good? Am I good? That's what he's saying right now. And so he has to really figure out why he's playing soccer like that. Because, again, he was looking for someone, but he needs to actually look within. You know, you can't just look for somebody to be able to, like, yeah, that's my level. No, there could be people even higher than you. So they're actually leaving him in the dust, and he needs to figure out what he needs to do to be able to step out and get back into that mindset, to be able to play with these people and be on the same equal terms with them. So we know Bachira next week is going to be doing some greatness. He's going to be doing some stuff. I already see it happening. This is another episode that was a banger. This is an 8.5 out of 10. See, look. Now, I don't want to give it a 9 just yet. All right? I kind of want to give it a 9, though. But 8.5. We're gonna 8.5 it the entire time. That's what we're gonna do right now. that's what we're gonna do right now. All right. Again, but a solid episode regardless. I really am enjoying this show. Like, again, I want to play some soccer now. This is what it is. Boop. How you doing, Anna? We're out here talking about anime right at the moment. You already missed the Attack on Titan section that I kind of like started going in on. But hey, let's give it a 9 second. No, man. I give it an 8.5.2. All right, yeah. We're gonna do the freaking sections in between. All right, look. I don't want to necessarily give it a 9. I feel like it was a great episode, but I feel like it wasn't great enough to get a 9 though. That's the thing. That's what I'm feeling right now. I'm behind. See, look, you need to catch up. All right, Anna, come on. But with that, what would you rate this week's episode of Blue Lock? And also, what would you rate the entire section of Attack on Titan, that three-parter that we had there? Because y'all didn't tell me y'all rating for it. Y'all didn't tell me you're rating for it. Kingdom Hearts now. Exactly. See, now you understand. But with that said, let us continue on to the next anime. You probably need to mute me here, Anna, because I think it's... Oh, it's not. Look, I thought it was My Hero Academia, but it's not. All right. We're in Vinland Saga territory. All right. I don't have no water. I don't have no water. My mouth is parched right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what? Look, just saying, look. Beautiful. Mwah. It's just, just give it its flowers. Just give it its flowers. This episode of Vinland Saga. Greatness. Straight up great. Straight up great. 10 out of 10. Best episode of Vinland Saga. 10 out of 10. This is it. This is it. Vinland Saga is the GOAT. This is the episode I was looking for. This is the episode I was looking for. Holy crap. The symbolism. There's so much. There's so much to this episode. I was like, yo, if you're not watching Vinland Saga, like, I know it's a slow-paced season 2, but this one, it's starting to pay off. It's starting to pay off. Oh my God, this is it. This is this. Yeah, the return of King Askeladd, bro. He was out here trying to tell him something he needed to understand, and it's so weird that he's the guy that's kind of giving them that type of like perspective and being able to understand that, hey, this is not your time. You have to be over here. Get the heck out of here. You don't need to be in this the purgatory section that we're all in, because this is not Valhalla. This is not Valhalla. Don't come over here. Not yet. You're not here yet, man. You need to be able to actually have yourself a better life than what can be going on here. Alan, welcome in. I cry, bro. I feel you on that. Avatar, this is, like I said, this is literally one of the best episodes that I've seen in a long time. Like within anime even. Like, this was so freaking good. This was so freaking good. Like, I already know. I already said 10 out of 10. Y'all know which one won, actually. The winner of Anime of the Week is freaking Vinland Saga. Like, it has yet to win. This is the first time it's won, but it has to win. This episode was that good. This episode was that good. This comes full circle. He finally starts to understand himself a bit more. Thorfinn, he's here. It's incredible. It's just incredible. How you doing? This episode was absolutely thank you. Exactly, Fortunate. Oh man, look, don't shake your head. This was some good stuff. You need to watch it, man. Look. Are you even watching Vinland Saga? That's the question here, because this is incredible. Okay, as good as AOT was, this is my episode of the week. Yeah, see, so you with me on this, Avatar. Your Avatar. You see, look at this. Look. Never watched the second. You need to watch this show. Honestly, you really actually should watch this show. If you're watching these other animes, I'm surprised you're not watching this show. The first season is incredible. I'm surprised, Ollie, that you're actually not watching this. I recommend this. Yeah, Thorfinn's development is incredible throughout this journey that we're seeing here, and we're finally seeing him kind of just come to life and understand that ultimately, you know what? I want a better life for myself. I'm not gonna keep going down that path and allowing my anger to control me. So therefore, I am no longer going to actually try to fight like this. I'm not gonna kill no more. I can't do this. Like, he even had this dream of thinking like he's killing his best friend, Einar. You know, he didn't want to do that. Like, it's just all of it's all coming together, and it's culminating to this episode. And I was just like, this is what I'm talking about. Like, this is one of those episodes that, with that build up, you just gotta watch it because it's worth watch. It's worth the watch. 100%. 100%. Episode this week finna be fire. You think so? You think so? Do you see the preview for the next week? Well, not necessarily, actually, because I looked away a little bit, so I couldn't see. I usually watch this stuff like after stream, so I was a little tired, so I kind of can't remember what the preview was, but I know it's gonna be something freaking great. I know that much. I know that much. I'll say that much. All right, but like I said, it's just like I love the fact that his development has finally come this far, but this does bring up an issue though. Because, like, I know he doesn't want to fight anymore. And also, they got lucky, too. Because, again, they beat up those dudes, right? Those farmland guys. Luckily enough, again, they're in the right place. Like, I know they're slaves, but those slave owners and the assistant dude that's over there, they're very generous and kind people at the end of the day. Because one of them was actually a slave from the beginning. Like he said, I was a slave, so I understand where they're coming from. So we're gonna let them off the hook. We know what y'all did. Y'all stop being goons. It's just like, it's so interesting though. But you already know you can't just do that. You know what I mean? Like, there is supposed to be a quote unquote hierarchy system, right? So you already know maybe the other farmhand are gonna see this and like, this is actually just insane. Why are we doing this type of work when we are not any better than a slave, basically? So it's like, what's going on here? Like, there's gonna be some turmoil in between all this. I understand the kind-hearted nature that they're trying to do, but cutthroat was cutthroat, and they're in a cutthroat freaking world right now. So I already know this is about to get insane. Like, freaking Canute. Oh boy. Oh what? Oh, see, this is what I'm talking about. Yeah, and you know what happens? Okay. Well, see. Well, make sure you're ready then, Alan. Just make sure you're ready. We're getting more Canute then. I mean, I'm hoping he don't like make the scene. I don't know. Well, I don't know. It's hard to say because like Canute, he seems like a more cutthroat kind of guy. So his development might be actually different in a way where he's actually on his killing spree mode, like how Torfin was. You know what I mean? Like their roles have reversed. So, and he's also very dirty-handed. He'll literally poison you and not even touch you, basically. Like he's that kind of guy. So, I mean, I look forward to it. Like I said, it's about to get insane as all this will start building up and everything's starting to come together. The culmination of all this like time that we had here is about to go bad. We already see it. We already see it. But again, 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. This is the anime of the week. Vinland Saga ate this up and said, "Blah." All right, we the GOAT. All right, we the GOAT. Well, let's go ahead and I guess watch or talk about the last episode or last show, which is I supposed to say Vinland Saga again. My Hero Academia. My Hero Academia. This week's episode. Look, it was a good episode. Don't get me wrong. Like I said, like lately, the show has just been pretty fire. It's been good. It's been good. Yeah. Oh, you never heard? Yeah, I don't typically give 10 out of 10s like that. I don't. If anything, I always give like a 9.5. I never give anything a 10 out of 10. So when I give a 10 out of 10 to something, I'm telling you that is greatness right there. That is greatness. That's all I'm saying. But no, this was definitely a solid week. This is a solid week in anime, honestly. Like again, this season is just so freaking good. Like all things considered. Like, actually, it's not the last one. The freaking Trigun's the last one. I just realized that. I was saying this last one right here. I'm tripping right now. But no, this is another solid episode. Again, we're just getting quote unquote more development. The only thing I actually didn't like, there's only one thing I didn't really like, and it's towards the end of the episode where it's like, I understand like Deku's descent, right? I get that. What I don't understand is, why the heck is he trying to fight all his friends all of a sudden now? Like, I understand that he's trying to quote-unquote protect them, but this is not protecting him if you're going to fight him all of a sudden. Like, this is literally contradicting yourself, sir. He's in this weird state at the moment. I get that because, you know, he wants to be the ultimate hero. He has to be that guy. He's trying to be that guy, you know? But at the same time, you got to know when to quit or when to relax because he didn't take no breaks. He's been fighting the entire time, and he's actually at a lower state right now. He can barely see. And he got this one random puppet dude over here. He's like, okay, I see you over here. If I take you out, you know, we won't get a promotion. That's what he's looking for. All right. So obviously they didn't do anything, but it's just like, man, that's the only thing I kind of had a problem with it. Cause I'm just like, you're literally going against your whole point of being here in the first place, of why you stepped away, because you don't want none of your friends to get hurt, even though what's that dog's name, or the principal, right? The principal's even saying like, nah, we can still protect him. Just be over here. We got you. And I said this from the beginning. Like, yeah, you can run around and leave, but like if the League of Villains decided to actually attack the school, are you not just gonna go to school anyway? So what's the point of actually leaving when, if some danger happens, you're going to have to go back over there anyway. So, like, it's better to be amongst friends than to not have friends at all. And that's the thing he needs to learn. He needs to learn that you need a helping hand. You need a friend in me. And that's where Bakugo comes in. Because Bakugo understood. Like, again, I'll say this again. Bakugo's development is actually great. I like Bakugo now. I actually like Bakugo now because of that type of development and him literally doing a freaking like almost a 180 when it comes to how he is. Like, he's still like a jerk in some ways, but he does care, and he cares about Deku. It's like, there it is. Like, what is this? Like I said, that is some great development right there, and I do like that. I like that a lot, and I like the fact that he actually understands Deku and how he is and how he can be. So again, this is a solid episode. Don't get me wrong. That was the only problem towards the end. I was like, come on now, like, boy. I did not like when all the class show up. I mean, they gotta do something at some point, though, right? Fortunate, like they gotta do something at some point. They can't just like just sit down and never do anything. It'd be kind of weird if they never did like make an appearance. And again, those are the friends he's supposed to be protecting, right? And it's so again, like even though they are all there, some of them suckers are so bad. What are they gonna do? They're gonna get speed blitzed by Deku. Like go sit down. Fast 1A versus Deku good. Yeah, that's about to happen here. But look, Alan, is it not going to be like the same situation how Vermilion took out all of Class 1A? He said, power! And then it was over. It's like, okay, come on now. Come on. He doesn't want them to get hurt. He doesn't want them to help him. So he wants to go fight other villains, but they want to help. And he don't like that, I think. Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. He doesn't like the fact that they're going to put themselves in danger. But he's being super selfish. It's like, I don't know why he's not thinking about this, especially just on, let's just forget about everybody else. Bakugo. You really think Bakugo's going to want to sit down and not help? Like, you've known this dude for so long. For him to even think that is actually stupid. It's like, what do you... Like, Deku, like how Bakugo understands you, you should understand Bakugo. Like, it's just a little weird because I know he's like, again, falling into that descent. I do wish they built that up just a bit more, to really showcase that there is not much light left in him. Because it did, like, literally, he just fought against the lady, right? Lady Newgood, and he still kind of still showed that kind of like light that's kind of there a little bit. Like, it's still there. It's still there. He even tried to have like those words of encouragement towards her. So then all of a sudden after that fight, he's just now in the depths of like darkness. And it's like, it was a pretty quick descent to that within this episode. I just wish they built upon that just a bit more. You know what I mean? I love when I see characters kind of fall into that into that mindset, right? And then once it builds up a bit more, boom, it kind of like all comes together. Then we can see these moments right here where he's at right now. It would make more sense. I just felt like it was a little too fast to where we got to that point, and then we're here with all Class 1A trying to stop him and everything like that. I do wonder how the manga did it, though. I wonder if the manga had a little bit more of a slow descent with this, so you have more feelings for it. You know what I mean? But I digress. But it ain't going to be like that. All right, cool. I hope not. I hope not. Granted, again, Deku is in a weakened state, so he shouldn't be able to like handle all of them. That would be insane if he did at a weakened state. Like, this dude's not even like full blown ready to go. If he's not, that'd be weird. That would actually be weird. I'm so glad they didn't go the obvious route and make Bakugo a villain or some kind of yeah, exactly, right. Oh my goodness, I just remember something. There was one other thing that we should make this episode like an 8.5 out of 10 actually. Yeah, I give it an 8.5 out of 10. Cause I didn't see, look, I was like, what is going on here? It's funny because it reminds me of like a One Piece like a moment, but Stain is back. Stain didn't die. This sucker's still here because we see him little like a silhouette. Sucker turn around a little bit. I was like, wait a minute. Like, hold on a second. That's not good. Why is he here? Like this. Like, come on. It's like, come on. Stop it. Like, the heroes already have too much on their plate. Unless he becomes like true anti-hero and he helps the heroes out. I can't. Like, they got Shigaraki, which is like in this own weird superpowered state right now. And then you got One for All over there. I mean, all for one. I mean, all over there, still doing his devious acts and stuff, right? It's like, this is actually ridiculous. Yeah, you see him break out of prison. Yeah, I was just like, bro. I thought he died actually, because like the way that whole thing was and like that punch, like it almost like what broke his rib cages and stuff. Like that got broken. It was like broken to pieces. So I thought he died or something like that. The way he like fell or didn't fall, technically speaking, right? I thought he died, but no, he's still alive. And I'm like, all right. I'm not mad about it. I'm a little hype about it in some ways, but like, god dang it, man. Yeah, I forgot he actually survived. I totally forgot. I literally thought he died there, given how that moment was, you know what I mean? It made sense for him to die right there anyways, right? Like, I felt like he didn't need any more attention. He didn't need to come back. Like, he came and went, but made such an amazing impact on the series. There was no reason for him to even come back. But that is my honest to God argument. Not mad that he's back, but I'm just saying. But overall, like I said, this is 8.5 out of 10. This is a very solid episode. We already know what the anime week is at this point, but no, this is good. This is good. I look forward to seeing what's about to happen next because it's going down. There's just so much happening here, and I'm just wondering how this whole thing's gonna actually play out. How Deku is gonna get out of this darkness. He's supposed to be able to put a smile on your face, like you know what I mean. Like he's supposed to be All Might, and All Might always had a smile on his face. He's literally going against his own principles of what a hero's supposed to be. This dude looking so like monstrous at this point. His hands looking like claws and crap. That he is so gone. He is so gone. He has a better comeback than Shaggy. Hey, look, man. The man got no arms, bro. What you supposed to do, bro? He got broken. God dang it. All right. This, I believe, is the last episode that we need to actually talk about here, which is Trigun Stampede. And I'll already, right off the bat, I will say this is like an 8 out of 10. It's an 8 out of 10. Not as good as last week's episode in some ways, but to try to sum up as much as I can. Because honestly, there's a lot of information that happened in this episode that I feel like they did a little too much, actually, surprisingly enough. But we see the people that took care of Ash. They're still alive, which is cool. So I was like, all right, they're actually still here. And Meryl and then the gang actually got to see them and kind of communicate and talk to them. But then there's a whole other situation that's going on at this point because the bug person that was a couple episodes back came back and is doing nefarious acts, being a goddamn villain, obviously, right? But he is playing on a weird anti-villain type of role. Like, we don't know exactly what side he might actually be on ultimately because he is trying to give Meryl and company information about what's actually going on and what we're trying to do and everything like that. And so he might not be helping out the whole situation at the end of the day. So we do have a little bit of that going on. We also see the stuff when it comes to Nye and Vash and that little altercation that they had back in the day as well. That's surprisingly enough, like the girl that took care of Vash, like she survived the whole ordeal because she was like, Nye was about to kill her, but it didn't happen because Vash stopped this whole thing, and then Vash had this like dark, like what I guess black hole in his arm, and then Nye cut his arm off, which is why he has that middle arm in the first place. So now we see where that came from. Even though I was kind of thrown off by his design initially because he was a little bit older, and I thought his arm was already kind of looking like that or something, but maybe I was tripping. I might have to go back and watch the episode again or something, but. Nonetheless, like I said, this is a solid episode. I did ultimately enjoy it. I do look to see what's about to happen when it comes to Vash. Like again, he's gonna have to get to a point where he might have to kill somebody. He's trying his best to not have that whole thing go on, and he learned that from the people that took care of him from that wrecked ship back in that day, right? So he learned that type of principle of not hurting people from them. So he's trying to really live up to that whole thing here, but it's just like I feel like there's gonna be a moment in time at some point where you have to do this. Like, how are you gonna stop Nye? Like your brother. How are you gonna stop him? Like, you're gonna. I don't think he's just gonna sit there and be like, all right, Vash, you win. You got me. I don't think so. And then there's the gravity guy over there too. I highly doubt he's gonna try to like just walk away from a battle. No, like you know what I mean. There's gonna be moments where he's gonna have to actually make that decision. So I am looking forward to seeing more of this. I also will say this. I mean, I'm assuming this is actually following the manga a bit more, right? Because or if there is a manga, right? But it's just like I remember the first series of Trigun. I don't remember it being like this, like at all. This is way more supernatural and more bombastic than what it was back then. Like for real. Because I remember that he still had that arm issue, right? But his arm turns into like a big gigantic laser, if I'm not mistaken, like back in the day. This is like totally different from what I'm seeing from the old original one. So it's interesting. No, we're not doing that, Fancy. We're not doing that. All right. But overall, welcome in. And this is 8 out of 10. This is 8 out of 10. With that said, though, I believe that is the last anime that we're talking about, right? Yep, it went full circle. Now let's get on to the discussion at hand. And you know what that is? We're going to talk about Michael B. Jordan. We're going to talk about that man. I don't understand. Because tell me something. Please. Welcome back, Anna. Let's talk about this, all right? Let me talk to you. Michael B. Jordan is an anime fan, right? We get that. Cool. I love the fact that he loves anime. You know what I mean? We're not discussing how he looks, all right? We're talking about his opinion, though. All right. Oh my God. Stop, guys. Stop. He got y'all in like a leg lock right now. Y'all gotta calm down. All right. But nah, look. He said, I quote, man, like, oh, anime to start with, Naruto, freaking. Well, I think did he actually throw Hunter x Hunter in there? I know he threw One Piece in that, and I was sitting here like, when I saw One Piece, I said, huh? I was like, it's like he put like the 5 animes that he put in here were all long animes. There were all long. There was no short animes in there, and I was sitting there like, what's going on here? Who would watch these? Yo, Naruto, Bleach, One Piece, Dragon Ball Z. Yeah. They're all 100+ episodes. Like, Michael, what are we doing? What are we doing? I feel like he outed himself as a casual with these recommendations. I mean, okay, in a way, I can kind of agree with that, right? Because like, a lot of these are just the popular animes. These are the ones that are the most popular. People always talk about Naruto, Bleach, One Piece, Dragon Ball Z, Hunter x Hunter. They don't, like, if you were to say, like, oh, watch Monster, I mean, that's still a long anime. That's like, what, 72 episodes long? But, like, that shows, hey, you watch more than just the shonen-s of anime, which is not a bad, look, it's not bad if all you watch is shonen because that's the stuff you like. I'm not saying that, right? But at the same time, it's like, if you're going to recommend some stuff for people to get into anime, you gotta have to watch a few other shows, something that is on the shorter end. It's like, please, like, there's no way. And this is why people gatekeep. We talked about gatekeeping before, right? And yeah, this is kind of one of the reasons why people make that jump to make that to do gatekeeping in the first place. Because, like, you look at this, there's not one anime on there. No, don't get me wrong, all of them are good. I've watched them all. I watch too much anime. Like my anime list is disgusting right now. Someone's even saying like, "Oh man, if someone actually sat there and watched all of One Piece, you need a life." And I'm sitting here like, bro. I mean, I've watched the show since I was a kid. That's a difference. It's not like I've watched it in one setting or try to like binge watch. You know, I've watched it and been with it ever since that time. So that's why it works for me, right? But if you're a new person trying to get into anime, I wouldn't recommend any of these shows. So my question to you guys, for the ones that are actually here, and for the ones I even watching, right, in the comment section, right, what would you recommend as a starting anime, or even starting 5? If you can actually give me 5 different animes, I would love to see that. I would love to see that on what shows you think a person trying to get into anime would actually work with. That is my question for you guys today, honestly. I was just in anime depending on the person I'm recommending to. Like anime that falls into a genre they like. Same. I usually always ask, well, what are you into? I always ask that first. Like, what kind of anime are you actually into? Or what kind of shows are you into? Are you into action a lot more? Are you into more sci-fi? Do you like a lot of romance? Like, I have animes that I can recommend to anybody, but I need to know what your taste is. And then I also got to make sure that the anime I am deciding to recommend you is actually good. Or it doesn't have all the tropes in there. Let me take that back. It doesn't have a bunch of anime tropes in there because it matters. For us anime fans, we don't notice these things anymore because we're so like it's so ingrained in us. We watch so much anime. You don't notice like some of the nuances or some of just the things anime does because it's just an anime thing. Like Attack on Titan, for instance, has like these speed lines where if it's something like crazy about to go on, like when Erwin is about to do a speech, we have like Shinso Sasayo and things like start going kind of crazy. That's an anime type of thing. You know what I mean? Like it's hard to explain what I'm trying to say here, but there's something very outgoing that the anime tends to do that a lot of other media doesn't tend to actually do for themselves. So you gotta actually be mindful of even that, because that can actually take somebody out of watching anime as well. Also, if the person is the type that would binge watch, then I would recommend a long show. That makes sense. Funny enough, a person at work actually does this. I was talking to him and everything. I was talking to him last week, and he pretty much tells me that he needs to pretty much binge watch all his animes. Otherwise, he'll forget about what the anime is. Like, he'll try to watch it week to week, but then forget that it's even there and never finish it. And I'm just like, God dang it. I am a person that's opposite of that. I like watching shows that are still ongoing. I will watch a show and watch it weekly because I like talking about the show after the fact. I don't really like binge watching a show because one of the negatives about binge watching, which I saw that he was having that same issue, is that once you finish the show and binge watch it, you don't remember a lot of what the show actually was. You know what I mean? Like, you don't remember some of like the small details because you binge watched it. I never really recommend somebody to try to like get into a show and binge watch it like that if you really want to be like caught up on something, because you're gonna forget or not know certain elements of the show because you're just going so fast. Like, people do this for One Piece, and people don't know some stuff about One Piece because they binge watched it, and so they miss so much details that are supposed to be there that do come back. Like, One Piece is very detailed, and stuff does come back. Some of the most small things that you don't think would be like big like that. Oh, you better watch it. You better watch it. And that's what I'm also noticing with Chainsaw Man. Chainsaw Man has that same effect right now where people binge read the manga, missing so many details. And so we're actually at this point now, currently talking about it, and they can't keep up with the conversation because they miss things and don't understand the actual story and what Fujimoto's even doing. So I don't recommend it necessarily, but I understand binge watching some shows. Honestly, I recommend Demon Slayer and New People. I would honestly, I would probably do the same thing. Like, for me, what I would recommend is easily, like, Death Note's the easiest anime I feel to recommend anybody. Death Note is a show that has anime tropes in it, but it's in a way it's aware of its silliness when it gets silly. You know what I mean? I feel like, because honestly, that was what I did for my older brother. I got him to watch Death Note to get him into anime, and he actually enjoyed that. And now he's watching Attack on Titan. You know what I mean? I transitioned him from Death Note to Attack on Titan is what I did here. But Death Note's usually my usual go-to to recommend shows to somebody. Outside of that show, it would probably also be Fullmetal Alchemist. I would probably want to give them Brotherhood, but both are good. That is a longer anime, but it's not like Hunter. It's like as long as Hunter x Hunter, basically. And well, no, it's not even true. It is shorter than that, but it is a longer anime. I feel like it's worth the watch. And it's like I said, and then at that point, I would have to figure out what other like things that they're even into so I can recommend. Like, Monster might not be a bad option, but Monster's a very slow show. So if there are somebody that watches like true crimes, watches murder mysteries and stuff like that, then Monster would be a show you would want to watch. Like, Anna, actually, I recommend that to you. You might like that show. I'm not sure what I would recommend. The ones I love are long, and the ones that are short are very niche anime. God dang it, it sounds like me. Watching it weekly, you get to absorb the episodes over a few days. Exactly. It allows you to sit on it. Same thing with reading manga. It allows you to sit on it and understand it and actually absorb that information that is actually there, as opposed to just skipping through it and keep going. That's why I don't really like the model that Netflix tends to have when they have anime out, because it kills the anime a lot of the times. Also, Wits Week gets to be a part of the conversation. Facts. Death Note, Spy Family, Demon Slayer are my recommendations to new people at the moment. Interesting. I mean, as much as I'd be like trying to dog on Spy Family, that's actually not a bad first anime. Spy Family is a very easy anime to get into. Like it's there. Honestly, it has this weird moments in there because of Anya. Anya is the character that would make or break somebody wanting to watch anime or somebody getting into anime. It's funny enough. Like Lloyd and Yor, they're fine as characters. It's Anya that will be the character that kind of makes or breaks somebody from trying to watch it. But Demon Slayer is also another really good one. I would put that on my third to recommend if they like big action based like shows and something that's a little bit on the wholesome side when it comes to their main character, because Tanjiro is a very respectable man and I actually appreciate the type of character that he is. But that like Demon Slayer is a good one to actually recommend ultimately because that show's good. That show is ultimately just good. You had me at True Crimes. I know. That's why I said it. That's why I said I was like, you know what? Like, again, Monster is a slow show, but it's worth the watch. It's Johann Liebert. That's all I'm gonna say. If you've seen the show, you know what I'm talking about. That man right there. God. Like Spy Family will prepare them for some of the weirder stuff. True. I agree with that. I 100% agree with that because again, outside of Anya, there isn't any other weird elements to the show that would like turn you away from it. So if you're okay with Anya, you should be able to then dive deeper into anime, into some of the niches and some of the weird stuff that is in there. Because again, we do have an influx of just shows with nothing but ecchi and stuff like that in and nowadays, and it just sucks because it's hard. It's really hard to actually recommend people anime like that because a lot of them have those elements in there. And someone trying to get into anime actually is not something you want to throw at them, like at all. Like, do not do that. They're just gonna think you're a degenerate and be like, "What the heck's wrong with you, my guy?" Somehow, some of the tropes they're gonna run into the future show. Yeah, exactly. It does have some of those tropes in there. Like you can't avoid it because that's just anime. That's just anime at the end of the day. Like, the tropes are always there. Like, that's why I also recommend, as my fourth one, Attack on Titan. Attack on Titan is a show that I feel like a lot of people can get into and can enjoy. Or is my third one already? I don't know if I said that already. But Attack on Titan is another one that it has those moments in there, but it's not so... Well, it is a little over the top at times. I'm not going to lie. It is a little over the top at times. But it's very bombastic and fast-paced action that happens, especially with season one. Season one has fast-paced action that's gonna really get you into it. If someone is into girly shows, Tokyo Mew Mew. Okay, Anna, old Tokyo Mew Mew or new Tokyo Mew Mew? Because there's a new version of it out that kind of like did a reboot. Yeah, I was gonna suggest Shuffle, but then I was like, no, they might find a visual novel. Yeah. Well, it's not even just a visual novel. Like, Anna, you gotta remember, there's a bunch of ecchi in there. There's a lot of ecchi in that show. I don't know if that would be the show to recommend somebody for their first watch. Yeah. Oh, you never saw the reboot? I'll tell you right now. I watched like I think 4 or 5 episodes of it. It's actually pretty good. I think it's better than the original. The visual novel's way. See, that's what I'm talking about. But see, that's what I'm saying. You can't recommend that. So. At the end of the day, yes, this made it look like Michael B. Jordan is a bit of a casual fan, which is not a bad thing to have here. But I do wish that if he was going to recommend anime, he would recommend stuff that's shorter. You know, like just shorter anime in general. Like just don't do it. Like I would even recommend Gurren Lagann. Gurren Lagann. Well, wait, never mind. I take that back. It's actually in that show. It's funny because when you actually put this question to somebody, even if they watch a lot of anime, right? Like myself, it is hard to choose a starting 5 of like 5 animes that you would recommend somebody because it's difficult to like because again, there's always something weird in it, you know? So it's like you're trying to find something that can work but be entertaining at the same time, you know? Because, like, I know, like, Morty Bitto's a show that I enjoy Morty Bitto, but no one's gonna really watch that show. No one really knows about Morty Bitto. Do y'all even know what Morty Bitto is? I like that show. A strong female character, really well written. No action in the series at all. But no one watched that show, but I like it. I like it a lot. Mori Bitto. Look it up. I want to shine. shine on you. I love that show. Cowboy Bebop is another good recommendation because it has a lot of Western tropes in it, but problem, it doesn't really prepare you for other series. No, not at all. Cowboy Bebop is in its like own little land. Granted, that's so you bring up a good topic here. You bring up a good topic. I've ran into this issue actually recently because I remember this now. So let's say you're trying to get somebody into like anime, right? You do recommend that show to them, Cowboy Bebop. They come back to you and they say, "Why are you recommending me this show? This show looks really old. I want to see something new." Like, what do you do then? Because that's what that's what I'm starting to hear now. Because like people nowadays, they're looking for that really good animation and style and everything like that. Again, going back to that guy I was actually talking to at work. Now I'm thinking about it because he said something similar where the animation can really take you out of it. It's an older anime. Granted, it looks great to me, especially at that time. It aged pretty well. It's still in its 4:3 state, not 16:9, because obviously in the 90s, we didn't have like the 16:9 aspect ratio with the kind of quality that we have right now. Like, you know what I mean? We saw those black bars on the side, but it's still really good quality, especially with the animations like that they did there for the show. So it is, to me, it still throws me off that when someone says, "Man, that show looks weird. It looks outdated and old," when I don't know. I appreciate that style of animation because it's all hand drawn. You know what I mean? It's that type of stuff always stands the test of time than shows that have a bunch of CG in it, because that CG does get old, and it will look old as we get better with CG. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I've ran into that issue recently, and I'm like, God dang it. So even that show, even though it looks good for its time, people still think, "Oh, that's some nasty looking animation." It's like, what am I supposed to do here? Into ballet. Oh yeah, Princess. Yeah. Into ballet. Freaking Princess Tutu. I mean, that's not a bad one. No idea what you're talking about. God dang it! See, that's what I'm talking about. No one knows what Moribito is. I'm gonna put this in the Discord so y'all know what it is. God dang it. But the same with old time movies. You have to appreciate where things came from. Facts, right? But I do feel like, just younger people don't really try to go back that far into older media to appreciate it to begin with, though. I don't know. 'Cause it's like that guy's not even that like much younger than me in the first place, so I don't know if it's like a certain mentality even that you kind of come with when it comes to like when you're indulging into media. That's what I'm saying. Oh wait, Mob Psycho is kind of goated, weird, but not too weird for people, I think. I mean, yeah. I think the only reason why I would have a hard time with people, maybe, actually no, because they don't really deal with the like classroom setting necessarily. I mean, if you're into psychic anime, I guess, right? Like, again, I feel like there is a niche in that, though, right? It's not something that is just a general show, because some people might not legitimately like believe in psychics, so they're like, "Why am I watching this? I don't want to see the show. This crap's false." You know what I mean? They might just get upset based off of that, like not even thinking too much about it. Yeah, it's the same with movies. I once had somebody I work with tell me they won't watch movies made. But are you serious? Wow. But see, that's what I'm wondering. Like, this is my thing. Like, what is the thought process behind that, though? Right? Like, what prevents them from wanting to watch it? Like, I understand it's old, but it's like, what if the story's still good? Like, I know the visuals are not looking the best, but they did try their best at that time. And again, it's like I don't get it. I don't understand. I don't understand. Another good one, actually, I just thought about it. This is my fifth one that I would recommend. My fifth one I'd recommend is actually Black Lagoon. Black Lagoon is very westernized in a way that I think people can appreciate, and the dub's really good as well. The dub is really good as well. So Black Lagoon would be my other one I'd recommend. That'll be the 5 I'll recommend at that point. I think that's what I would do. That makes the most sense. Black Lagoon's actually a 24-episode series. It's very solid, very good anime. That would be another good one that I can recommend, that I feel like most the Western audience can actually appreciate. Even like Jormungand, I mean, could be another show that people can appreciate. Oh, wow, that person just. I feel like start with One Punch Man if they like it. Like, oh, yeah, I agree with that because it's from the same creator. And One Punch Man is a simple show, but it's effective. It's like Demon Slayer, right? Demon Slayer is a very effective show, but it's simple, but simple but effective. Sometimes simplicity works. Simplicity does work. You have to be exposed to old media like that. Like my mom had me watch old time movies, and some of them are really good. Interesting. They don't want to waste their time with something that's not from their time. That's stupid though. Like, why would you not want to go see something that was from yesteryears, from your parents, what they watched from growing up? Are you not a curious soul to at least just indulge into that? Even if you don't like it, you can at least indulge into it and try to appreciate for what it is. I don't know. I always feel that kind of weird for me. I don't know. And they want to stay in their bubble and not broaden their horizons, like people who only eat American food and don't eat. Yeah, true. Some people are just like, once they're familiarized, once they're in their comfort zone, they stay in that zone and they don't want to get out of it in any capacity at all. And that's honestly an issue in general for society. You want to be able to, and this is just something that, this is like a life lesson right here. You want to be able to broaden your horizons. Never limit yourself. Never think that you know everything. Always try new things, try new experiences. Otherwise, you are not going to be able to have the most fulfilling life that you would ultimately want. Everybody thinks about the life that they want, but that still requires you to actually make those moves and sometimes getting out of that comfort zone. And this is one of those things where it's like, broaden your horizons, see what else is out there. You'll be better for it at the end of the day. And I just wish more people can actually do something like that. Teens think their parents are lame, so they assume everything from their time is lame. That's freaking ridiculous. And then you got people like us, like, back in my day. I mean, we were just talking about that. It's just so funny about this. Because I was even saying, like, man, like, again, I was talking about games, right? For Budokai Tenkaichi 4. I'm like, man, as hype as this is, and I played that game back then, right? It's just like, I can't only be so hyped for it because I know for a fact there's going to be DLC in it. I hate DLC. I hate it so freaking much that it kills what gaming even means at the end of the day. It kills it. Like, I'm tired of all this DLC and freaking season passes. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if there's a season pass to get like more characters in the game. You know what I mean? Because Budokai Tenkaichi 3 had 150 characters in there. There's no way. I will bet $100 right now that we will not get that same type of roster right off the bat to be able, or even unlock characters. You know what I mean? I highly doubt it. I am so certain for this. I would do that. Because, like, come on now. Maybe like Mob, Samurai Champloo, Vinland, Jujutsu Kaisen, Full Alchemist. Vinland Saga is actually another good one. I do recommend highly for people, especially if you're into like war or Vikings and stuff like that. You'll like it. Like, if you like Game of Thrones, you can easily transition from Game of Thrones to Vinland Saga with ease. I got my friend to watch Vinland Saga because of that. Because Vinland Saga transitions so well from Game of Thrones to that. Jujutsu Kaisen's also not a bad one either. And I say Full Alchemist. Like I said, Full Alchemist is that one that I would actually recommend. Full Alchemist, Demon Slayer, Black Lagoon, Attack on Titan, and what was the other one I said? I can't remember. I did say Monster, but like I said, that depends though. That depends. Like, I think I have 4. But Samurai Champloo is definitely one that I can recommend. Like, Samurai Champloo is actually, again, very westernized. You can find shows that are westernized. People can get into that. Samurai Champloo, I don't even think really has any like weird anime tropes like that in it, like that, right? So Samurai Champloo is a very, very safe anime to recommend. If you're like Game of Thrones fans would love in the saga, yeah, that's so yeah. See what I'm saying, right? I was just saying that, like, I literally got my friend because he's like, man, I watched Game of Thrones. I really like that show, but then those last 2 seasons really disappointed him. But I was like, hey, Vinland Saga is out. That show's goated. I just got done with season 1. You should definitely watch that show. And he's like, all right, I'll watch it. And then when he watched a couple episodes, he came back to me. He's like, yo, this show's freaking goated. I was like, oh yeah, I was right. Funny enough, my sister gained interest in anime from watching Avatar: The Last Airbender. And she watched Avatar: The Last Airbender after watching the last. Your sister watched that abomination? Oh my God. You know what's funny about that, Ann? You know what's funny about that? Again, casual people that have never watched Avatar: The Last Airbender and they watch that movie, The Last Airbender, they actually think it's good. They actually think that movie is actually not that bad, like at all. Like, oh, this is not a bad movie at all. I like what I'm seeing here. They don't understand. They need to see the show. Like, like, oh God. The Last Airbender, M. Night Shyamalan, bro. M. Night Shyamalan. Shyamala. This freaking sucker here. God dang it. Oh, I kind of wanted to say, Dura. Ain't no way. Nah, yeah. It's down to earth, but yeah, it's not westernized. It has too many weird tropes in that show. Like the dude with the blonde hair, I can't remember his goddamn name at this point. I haven't watched the show in so long, but like, come on, man. I don't know about that one. That is definitely not a good recommendation. She thought the movie trash and wanted to watch the show to see if the show. Oh, really? Okay, she actually didn't like it. Okay. Look, for some reason, when I see like casual people that don't watch that stuff and they watch that movie, they're like, this is my jam. I do wonder how people feel about the freaking live action Dragon Ball Z movie then, if that's the case. Because like I haven't seen what a casual fan thinks of it or somebody that hasn't watched anime thinks of that movie. I would love to see that. It's always so interesting when you see from a different perspective of somebody else's, right? When they don't watch anime and they start trying to get into some of this, it's so interesting seeing their perspective and seeing how they actually react to some of this stuff, you know? I don't remember a movie. Yeah, I don't know what you mean. Look, there was no movie in Ba Sing Se, bro. Look, there was no war or no movie. All right, we are happy people. All right, put a smile on your face. Yeah. There is a last. Yeah, exactly. The Dragon Ball movie. Make sure they never watch that. Yeah, look, maybe more than likely. I do wonder because like sometimes that can be an actual gateway to get people to actually watch the show. That's what's so weird about it. But at the same time, having bad media lets you appreciate good media. This is one of the things, and one of the other reasons what I say when I recommend stuff. Sometimes it's okay to actually watch a show that's bad, because then you start to realize what's actually good out there. You know what I mean? I feel like nowadays, a lot of people watch nothing but good shows, so then they start dissecting even the good shows and not realizing the show's just actually good. There's no reason to try to like always rip it apart. You know what I mean? Sometimes just enjoy what you're enjoying. People don't look at the other side. They don't see from both perspectives. They only see the good perspective, and then they start criticizing even that. You know what I mean? Like their minds are very limited in what they're seeing and what they're digesting. Now I understand you don't want to waste your time watching something bad, but at the same time, I feel like I implore everybody even to watch bad shows, bad television, bad movies, all that stuff, because you start to appreciate when something actually is done correctly. Thoughts on the Last Airbender Netflix series? Okay. Mike and Brian are not working on it anymore, so therefore I lost interest in the show. So I am not. I am concerned. I'm actually concerned that this is even going to be any good. They do want to age up. I was hearing that age up Katara and the rest of them and all that, and I'm like, I feel like this is going to be like more of like a sappy drama than it is Avatar: Last Airbender. You know what I mean? So I'm very concerned of what they're trying to do with this IP. It sounds like it's about to be stupid. It could be good for all you know, but looking at Netflix's track record, I don't have a lot of faith in them. I really don't. So I'm gonna leave that alone, or I might watch the first episode. Like I usually always watch something first. This is my motto. I always want to formulate my own opinion before I see others. Or even if I do see others, I still want to formulate my opinion to see how bad something actually is. I did this for, unfortunately, Redo or the Healer. We're not going to talk any more about that. But I did that for that show. I did it for Goblin Slayer. I did it for Rising of the Shield Hero. Like all these shows that had that kind of controversy, I wanted to see for myself what's actually going on with it. You know what I mean? So I'm not immune to wanting to watch an episode or two to see what's actually going on. I did the same thing for Velma. When the Velma series came out, I watched that first episode. Didn't watch the second episode because I did not like that show at all. Velma is actually just not good. Like, the writing is actually bad. Like, that's one thing I can actually say, at least from the first episode. I don't like the way the writing is and how they talk and just how in your face they are when it comes to just like the dialogue and making things so obvious that it actually hurts looking at it. Like it's actually that I had a problem with, not necessarily like, oh, the other things that go on with that show. I'm not gonna get too deep into that, but yeah, I'm not too keen on wanting to watch that show, unfortunately. So I will still watch an episode or two to see how it is, and maybe I might like it, because I don't know if this is a hot take, but I've said this before. People hate this live action. It came from Netflix, but the Cowboy Bebop live action, in my honest opinion, after watching the entire show, I watched the entire thing, it's actually not that bad. It stayed faithful for the most part from the actual IP. Like, I don't understand why people hate it so much, because it did stay faithful and it still had that feeling from Cowboy Bebop. I will say this, because there's still issues with it. Again, some parts of the writing is a little off, because like that character that was always flirting with Jet is like, oh, I love black things. And so I was like, that whole character was just like, what is going on there? it was kind of bad, right? And then there's like little bits of dialogue that was going on with Faye that I didn't really like, because Valentine didn't really feel like Faye until later on in the series. It took her a minute. And it took her a minute to even get in the show. So the fact that it took that long for me to really get into her character, that's bad. And then, but Jet was great. Jet was great. Spike, he was on and off. Like, there'll be moments where he feels like Spike, but then all of a sudden he don't really feel like Spike at all. Like, it's weird how he tried to interpret the character. He didn't do that good of a job, unfortunately. So even with all that being said, the actual setup, the scenery, and how they kind of maneuver their way through the story with Vicious and everything like that, though Vicious is even a little different, but I didn't necessarily mind the change, given what they were trying to do with Julia. So I didn't think it was that bad, all things considered. I don't know why people hated it as much as they did, outside of just hating live actions. I just didn't think it was that bad in comparison to what I've seen other shows of. It worries me because Michael Bryan walked away. Yeah, exactly, for creative differences. Like, how are you going to have creative differences with the creators? Exactly, right? They're the ones that made the show. It's like, why would you? That makes no sense that you would push them away, thinking that's going to make people still watch the show. Like, you guys are stupid as heck for doing that. It's like pushing Oda away from One Piece right now, the live action. And it's like, Oda is like, that's his baby right there. Do you want this to work or not? Have the person that worked on this stuff work on the show. Like, it makes no sense to what they're trying to do. Yeah, they're not Anna. Like, it's unfortunate. I'll give at least an episode or two, like I said. At least we're getting a new animated show and movie. Facts. And that should be good. That should be good. I'm looking forward to that, Avatar. Like, bro. Man, because they're working together right now. And I do like some of this, even like the mangas or comics, I should say, that they did. They're not bad. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they're going to do here with this IP and how they're going to push us further along. Though it does hurt that we're getting a new Avatar, right? So that means Korra's dead. So that does hurt. That does hurt. Okay. But referring back to suggesting anime to someone as a first, I pick Avatar: Last Airbender. It's not an anime, but you know what? If they're okay with like a kid type environment, that is a show to watch. Because the season 1 for Avatar: Last Airbender is very childish in the beginning, because Aang is a child, right? Like, he didn't really grow up that well so far, right? So season 1 is very childlike, but as the show goes on, as you know, it gets darker, and it gets much darker, and it starts dealing with certain themes that you didn't think the show was going to start diving into, but it does. So if you can get past that, you're going to really enjoy Avatar: Last Airbender, just 100%. Vicious was atrocious. He wasn't vicious at all right? He was like a puppy. But no, look, like I said, like, I understand having an issue with, like, Vicious's character, or even any of the characters outside of Jet. Like, I can't see anybody having a problem with Jet. Jet's character is actually freaking goated. That dude elevated the character a little bit, in my honest opinion. But I see why people had issue with Vicious. I get it. He still has his elements there, but he's not this menacing, like, figure that he is in the anime. You know, he was also he wasn't shown very often throughout the show like that, right? So it also had like a certain sense of like mystery towards him in a way, right? So it once we got to those moments, it felt bigger as opposed to what they were trying to do, Vicious being on scene as much as he was. So I feel you on that. It is a good gateway into anime. I feel that. I mean, it was the same when we got Korra. Yeah, I know, but now I don't dislike Korra. Like she really redeemed herself in the last 2 seasons for me. Because season 2 really hurt me. Season 2 Korra was just like the worst Korra, but I understand why she was like that. My thing is, I understand where she was coming from. She's literally the polar opposite of Aang, and people got to remember that. People hate on her for stupid reasons when they don't understand that's like the character that she was. You're not really always supposed to like her in a way, right? Because she had this type of like, she had an expectation on her. So she always had this thought that she had to be the GOAT. It's weird when you actually have a character that has confidence. People hate people. People just hate others that have confidence in themselves. Korra tried to have that confidence in herself. That's the thing. So, yes. I love that hot take because I actually agree with you. I agree with you, Avatar, 100%. I agree with you. No, look, I agree with you on that. It makes sense. It is as good. Think about that. She didn't. It got me a lot. Yeah, it got a lot of trouble. I feel you on that. I understand where you're coming from with that though, because I 100% agree with it. It took her a full circle type of like moment, not full circle, but it took her to grow up. And then you also got to remember this, Anna. Also got to remember this. She was doing this all on her own, essentially. All her decisions were her own decisions. Like, Aang did not have to deal with everything that she had to deal with within the 4 seasons. The stuff that she had to deal with is stupid. It made no sense that she had to be this type of avatar to deal with all of this. Like, she had to make the decision to open up the spirit world to the world. And obviously that was a bad decision at the end of the day. We saw that. We saw the ramifications for her decisions. Like, it's very human. If you think about this, Korra is more human than even Aang because she's dealt with a lot of her own emotions and having to actually deal with all that. Like she had a whole mental block to not even be able to do airbending because of just how she is. That pridefulness and that anger that's inside of her. Like she has a lot going on for her, and the expectation was there, and she could never really truly live up to it. But she tried the best she could. That's the whole point of the story, though. It's like she just tried her best. Sometimes her best is not enough. Remember, she also lost the connection to the Avatar state. I know it's partly her fault, but like, there's only so much she could do given the type of like villains and enemies she had. Like, she had Amon. Amon was honestly a character that should have lasted a lot longer because the turmoil that was happening within season 1 didn't really resolve itself, which is annoying. I wish but again, that's Nickelodeon messing them up. Regardless, like the whole Amon situation was a problem, and then you had freaking Unalaq, and the goddamn freaking the spirit devils and stuff like that. Like all that crap was there. I was like, bro, what is this? Like, god dang, it's like this is ridiculous here. Tenzin can only do so much. Tenzin is not Aang, okay? And Jinora was there, but Jinora is not Aang either. Like she still ultimately had to make these decisions on her own, and just she's fumbling, just like any other human being. We all make decisions all the time, but we fumble, and then that's the whole point with Zuko. Zuko had that same issue. But the thing is, Zuko had somebody, he had Uncle Iroh there to guide him, to make him listen, to have patience with him as well. Because there'd be moments where he wasn't listening either, But he made those mistakes, but he was always there to love him and understand him at the end of the day. Like, in some cases, Korra didn't have that type of, like, support system in the same way, because also she's stubborn in that way. Yeah, Zahir's the GOAT, bro. Zahir broke that. Man, don't even look. I'm just like I said, just like all her villains were a step. They're a step above what Aang had to even deal with. Like all of them. Okay, it's ridiculous. I'm not saying that she didn't have a good character arc, but I can't say that it's on same with Zuko. She had a preconceived notion of what it meant to be the Avatar, and that was shattered bit by bit, and she had to rebuild herself into an idolized version of herself, learning from her enemies and past. Facts. That's what I'm saying. Like, if you really dissect the character, it is as deep as Zuko's thing. The only difference is, like I said, Zuko had a little help because of Iroh. Iroh is such a beloved character that it does help you be able to digest the things that Zuko ultimately ended up doing at the end of the day too. I say it's on the same level. I don't say it's better, but I do say it's around that same level. That prove me wrong, well, villains. Prove you wrong on what? I gave you a lot of different reasons why Korra's development is as good as Zuko. I'm not gonna say it's better than Zuko's, obviously, but like I said, like Zuko and Aang, they all had certain type of help that made them also a little bit more likable in that sense as well. Whereas they again switched that all around. Like Korra didn't have all that go on there. So there would be moments where you're just really annoyed with her in the first place. Like season 2 Korra was one of the lowest points for me. You can go back and watch my reviews for it. They're still on my channel. You can see like every episode that I've reviewed for it. Like Korra was getting on my nerves. But at the same time, once I got past that season and then saw her lowest point in season 3, I was like, you know what? I get it. I understand. I didn't like it, but I understand. And you know what? That's really good writing at the end of the day. Especially considering for what they had to go through Nick. Nick messed up their flow state of how they're trying to tell that story. And that's one other thing you also got to remember, Anna. You know, they did have issues ultimately trying to be able to tell her their story because Nick was messing them up every step of the way. I don't know why they did this to him, but they did. Okay. But something that Korra had that Zuko didn't was that she had a support system, whether she utilized them or not. Zuko literally just had Iroh, and that's all you really needed, though. Iroh is such a strong support system, though. That's the difference. Like at the end of the day, they were all there, literally right there for them. Also, again, the stakes between Zuko and Korra's like life are two totally different things because you know he's not trying to be the Avatar, she is. So, and again, the things that she was dealing with are much bigger. That even if she had the support system there, it's like you don't even know what the right actual answer is at the end of the day for some of the stuff that she had to go through. It's just like some of that stuff is just literal trial and error. So I don't know. I know, dude. You were doing YouTube for that long? Oh yeah, I was doing YouTube. I've been doing YouTube for like a decade, bro. I've been on this platform for a very long time. That's why I'm like I need to buckle down and really start trying to push this stuff here. But I've been doing this for a while. So I don't know. I see what you're saying. Don't get me wrong. It's not like there aren't support systems, but you also got to remember this. The support system is not always that good either. You got to remember that. Like, think about it. She actually met Iroh, and Iroh gave her really good advice. Ironically enough, like, that's what's so funny about this whole thing. It's like the support system she did have, they're not that good either, is the thing. Again, we go back to Tenzin. Tenzin didn't know what the heck he was. He had his own issues going on, you know? Like his father wasn't there for him. Yeah, she has a support system, but if the support system's trash, what are we supposed to do? Yeah, but I still can't say that she's on the same level with Zuko, and I can't voice my reasons well and through chat. I mean, we can talk about it later, Anna. I'm just saying. I do see what Avatar's saying, and I get where he's coming from with this because I see it. I see it through the journey through this character because there's a lot. There's a lot to her, more so than even was Zuko was dealing with. Because again, Zuko wasn't the main character, but he kind of was in a way, right? But she is the center, the vocal point, the center point of the show. So she gets all the development with here, and it's a lot that she went through. It's a lot. I probably ran into your old core reviews back in the day. I used to always watch every review I could find after. Oh yeah, possibly. You know, I probably need to actually go back. You might have actually made some comments back in the day. Now I'm thinking about it. Because, like, yeah, you probably watched some of my videos. I've reviewed all of Avatar: Last Airbender, of The Legend of Korra. I reviewed all of it because I love Avatar: Last Airbender, and I'm very well versed in that world. So much so that I was able to like even do some dissecting and stuff like that. Like I was really going in with my reviews with that show specifically because I really enjoyed that world of the Avatar. Like that world I love. I love that shit. I love that series, and I love any other iterations that decide to come by. So I didn't know why. I didn't know how we got like into this whole conversation that we're talking about Avatar now, but here we are. This hot take. I guess we have a hot take, guys. We have a hot take all of a sudden, so here it is. Yeah, I guess basically, think her story and character arc could have been way better, and because of what Nick did, never reached the potential of what it could have been. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I can understand why you're thinking what you're thinking, right? That at the end of the day, it's still not as good as Zuko, because the thing is, Zuko, his whole story arc got to be able to play out without any interruptions at all. So you're gonna be able to say that it was more enjoyable at the end of the day versus what Korra had to go through, because again, Korra, the show just was all over in shambles because of Nick. But I just feel like within the writing, with what they were trying to do and how they even executed, even with everything going on, hella impressive. That I do believe that it's on the same level. So that's why I feel like you do have that issue though. But I'm looking at it from that other perspective, and like, I had to give it its flowers for being able to tell a story like this and be coherent as well as it is through all the trials and tribulations that Mike and Brian had to go through. So that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I love to, as you probably guessed by my name. Yeah, exactly. I know. I understand. Like I said, it's one of my favorite series, and it's something that I really enjoy. I actually own both Avatar: Last Airbender and Legend of Korra. I own both of them. There's something that I won't say grew up on, but like, it's definitely something I've thoroughly enjoyed. This is a testament of how good Mike and Brian are. Yeah, exactly, right? Yeah, it's like, easy with all the meddling Nick did. Exactly, right? It's like, it's crazy that they were able to even make this come full circle in a way. It's impressive. I mean, I have issues with their storytelling, honestly, but I don't want to drag this out when that wasn't the main topic. Oh boy. Really? Now, okay, see, I gotta talk to you about this. Now you got me wondering. Look, we're gonna have a whole conversation, just so you know. All right, but let me get out of here. It's been an hour and 30-something minutes so far. So, with that said, if you guys really could, can you guys like this real quick? It always helps out with the algorithm. Push this stuff out. Like, seriously, I really appreciate you guys, because last week's seasonal talk got quite a few likes on it now. So I appreciate that, because it really did help. It really did help get more eyes on this video and everything. So if you guys could, I appreciate that a lot. Also, in the comment section, for those that have finished this entire thing, or even those that are here right now, I want y'all to put in the comment section Michael B. Jordan if you watch the entirety of this. Michael B. Jordan in the comment section, baby. Yeah. Thank you, Anna. Thank you. I appreciate that. Even when I can't make it, try to like them. I appreciate that, Anna. I appreciate that. Yeah, you have a good time too, man. We will be back here next week, because we're not having a break for Chainsaw Man. So Chainsaw Man Tuesdays, we'll be back here on the YouTube channel on Tuesday. Of course, Seasonal Talk will be back again over on Thursday. And then I will be streaming on the Twitch platform Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, I believe. I'm going to double check, but it should be the regular schedule. And we'll have all that going on. All right. Until then, people, drink goddamn water, take goddamn vitamins. I will see you in the next one. Till then, people.